Hello and a big welcome back to Chilparko Podcast. This is episode 2, where we are in conversation with a lovely, charismatic, very beautiful, and a sweet human being, Mamta Khan. She is a hypnotherapist, a quantum healer, a Reiki master, a holistic therapist. Have I missed out on something, Mamta? She is spirituality personified, and look at the calm, serene look on her face. That is what really gets me more and more enamored by her. But, in episode 1, we talked about quantum healing, we talked about how it works and for who can benefit from it. What are some of the notions about it? And I think we will clear one more notion about it. Actually, who administers this? I mean, how do you actually, when you talked about, connecting with the masters, ascended masters, who connects with them actually? Is it you or is it the person you're administering the therapy to? We will begin with that question, and we will also be talking about Reiki, hypnotherapy today, some stories, and a lot of wellness, holistic wellness tips for all of you. And so let's start before, I keep on talking too much. But yes, I hope you're all glued. I hope you all tell us from which part of the world you watched our podcast. Share your feedback, share your comments. If you have any queries, please do drop in a mail to alkamahajan1@gmail.com. We will get in touch with you. We will have Mamta again with us, where she will be answering your questions in a live question and answer session. So now, Mamta, let's begin with that question which I just asked about clarification on quantum healing before we begin with Reiki and hypnotherapy.
Right. Thank you, first of all, Alka, for your kind words. You are really kind, and I love your energy. You have this beautiful energy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah. So,
you.
your question was, Alka, who talks to the ascended masters, right? I, I am just a facilitator, right? The person who is put under, who we would address as client for now, right,
Mm,
is the one who channels the ascended masters, because the person is taken to such a state of consciousness, and when you attain a certain state of consciousness, you're able to access these higher consciousnesses, right?
mm, mm.
So it's very amazing. We start with the super consciousness, we call in the super consciousness,
Right?
and energies change. So it could be first the person's angel or guides talking, right? And then another energy might come in, could be an ascended master. Sometimes they'll tell you who's there, and sometimes, like just yesterday, I did a session, and I knew there was a very strong and powerful energy there, right? Who was probably her guide at that time, right? And I
So
said,
it's
"May
it's like a vision. It's
they are there, so their own ego, they put it aside. So here's what the client will tell me, that I felt that there was someone at the back, and I felt that someone else was talking through my mouth. It's a
mm,
channeling,
it's a channeling, yes.
right?
Mm,
And
okay.
they even feel the energy of the the energy that comes in, right?
Mm.
So I was talking about this yesterday. So
Session.
the session yesterday, and they refused to tell me who they were. I said, "May I know who I'm talking to?" They said, "Not now." I said, "All right." But there are times, like there was a client, and when he accessed the higher consciousness, and then an ascended master came, that's when Jesus came. And at first I wasn't sure what was happening. So this client, he tells me he's standing there. So I said, "Who's standing there?" So he says, "Jesus." Now for me it was like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like, right?
Mm. Yeah.
And then I felt that energy. And it was so overwhelming for me. I feel that energy then.
Mm.
And then I started asking questions. I said, do I have permission to ask questions? He said, yes. So I validated the Reiki, because the conversation we were having earlier, it took me like forever to understand that actually I am a channel for Reiki, right? And I
Yeah.
can do it, because there was so much doubt. Am I able to do it or not do it? Right.
Mm.
So my for my husband, I said, first I asked, am I doing it the right way? Does my Reiki work? Right. So he said, yes, of course it works. I said, then what about people who don't believe in this cosmic energy, in this power? So I asked about my husband, because he doesn't believe. But I was told, he says he doesn't believe, but his soul knows.
Oh. Hmm.
I did a psychic surgery on him through Reiki.
Really?
Yeah. So the doctors had said that there was a hole in his lung, because I was away and my daughter was here with him. And so he had thrown up blood, right? He
Oh.
had,
Hmm.
when I got back, and the doctor said, right now we cannot do an ultrasound or an x-ray because there's swelling out there.
Hmm.
So we have to wait for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, I got back immediately, right?
Hmm.
I got in touch with my Reiki teacher and I said, what would you suggest? She says, you can do a psychic surgery. I said, can I? So she said, yes. So I said, how do I go about it? She said, follow your guidance. So I just followed my guidance, right? So
Wow.
after calling in Reiki, and I asked for assistance to aid, amplify, and be there to guide with the healing, right? So, so I'm not doing anything,
I got it.
right? It's all
But
coming
this,
from up there.
but that was the first time you did your psychic surgery?
Yes, I did that psychic surgery for the first time, because I
First
really
time.
didn't understand that I could do it as well.
Wow.
Right? The second, that there's another story about Reiki which just had me spellbound. So my higher self, my guides, they talk to me a lot, right? So there was this girl who comes to work for us, and she would say, oh, my knees are paining, or she would have several complaints. So my higher self knocks at me, pushes me and says, if it was a person, if it was someone from a higher strata in society, you would have said, come on, I can do this, and why aren't you asking her, right?
Okay.
So, so I said, come on, sit down, I will give you some healing, right? I
Hmm.
did that healing. I facilitated that healing, and uh, her pain was gone. And she told me that, they have these Indian
How long did this healing go? Because there are lots of people out there who have these knee problems. Suddenly they feel that there's a pain in their knees, especially in in that area where there's a little bit of a dent, right behind the
yeah,
knee. They
yeah.
feel pain. They cannot bend their knees. They cannot. It's difficult for them to sit up or sit down. It's difficult to stand up and sit down. So, how long did this process take? Did it take
Alka,
two, three
no,
sessions?
no, no, just one
Just
session was enough.
okay. Oh,
Yeah, just
and
one
after
session.
she was absolutely all right.
Yeah,
Wow.
because they have that Indian system of sitting when they go to the to
Lou.
use, yeah,
Yeah, the washroom.
the
Yes, yes.
washroom, right?
Yeah.
So earlier she said once she'd sit down, she wouldn't be able to stand, and now
Oh,
she's just standing up easily,
wow.
right?
Amazing.
Yeah,
So you
and
did it.
then yeah, and what was what was something that really amazed me was that I was looking at her and I said, "Are you all right?" She says, "There is some oozing coming out of something oozing out of my breast." Right.
Hmm.
So it was like, she was just taking it like she wasn't giving her that herself that attention that she needed. This was a serious problem. She said, my, and she didn't say that it was a serious problem, but I knew that was a serious problem.
Hmm.
And I said, what are you doing about it? She says, my sister comes and she bandages it, and but there's a lot of oozing and all. So I said, okay, come and sit down. I will give you some healing. And I I gave 10-15 minutes of healing to her. The oozing stopped, right? I gave her another session, another 10-minute session 2 days later,
Hmm.
and she said she's clear. Now, she had not had herself tested, right? She would have had to run to the doctors and, had the mammography and all that done.
Yeah.
And I am so grateful. I haven't gotten into the nitty gritty of what it was and, what and where
But
and what.
your the end result was that she was healed. There was no more oozing, and that was the best part. So how exactly does Reiki work? I know it's energies, but how exactly does it work? And what are some challenges that come in the way of Reiki masters, when they're doing their healing?
Yeah. Um, First of all, the person has to want it.
Mm.
All right. And a disease always conveys a message to the person it is affecting,
Hmm.
right? So you have to know what are you trying to tell me? What is the
Right.
indication, right?
Uh, uh,
So that's very deep, and not everyone gets into that part of it,
right.
right? The challenge that comes is sometimes, people just ask me just for fun, okay, okay, let's see. Can you
Uh,
can you do that,
yeah,
right? And earlier I used to get very excited and I'd say, come, I'll do it right now, because then I realized that's not all right.
that's not the way. I think this happens to all occult practitioners. The fact that people want to test you at times. Okay, really? Well, do it for me. You know what I mean? So I think this is a big challenge that many of us are facing. And
Yeah.
um, I don't know. It's all about mindsets,
And
actually.
how it works is that, as we said, we are multidimensional, and there are ascended masters and ascended beings, and we are also assisted by our angels and guides, and we have a healing team also. All we need to do is ask them, call on them and ask them, and believe that they're doing it,
Yeah.
right? Now, if we with me, I'm without any judgment of for other people doing it. I'm just telling you about myself. I don't follow any particular, okay, step one this, step two this, step three this. No, because as I said, Jesus validated the Reiki that I do,
Yes.
and he told me, open your palms and feel the energies. And I did this, Alka, and I was in tears, tears streaming down my face.
Oh, that is a big sign that you have the angels and the spirits around you, and they're all protecting you. They're encouraging you to move forward. Wow.
Yeah.
Those vibes,
So
amazing.
actually, I could
I'm getting
feel
goosebumps myself.
I could feel the energy. All right. So I felt that that was a blessing. It had come to me, because while growing up, every time I'd hear that Jesus did this healing, Jesus did that healing, and I was thinking to myself, so cool. I wish I could be like Jesus. And somewhere when I was saying it out of all innocence, I was being I was putting my wish across, right?
Yeah.
So that, and then Dolores Cannon, who has developed, and this quantum healing hypnosis therapy, the
Mm. So we're now
QHHT.
coming to hypnotherapy because you're a hypnotherapist. Yes.
So I'm telling you how I'm connected with both of this,
Yes,
and
yes.
how she validated it also.
Mm. Wow.
So she's now on the other side, all right.
Mm.
And I was doing a session. Now, I'll tell you the difference between QHHT and BQH.
Mm-hmm.
QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis therapy technique. Okay, QHHT, quantum
Mm-hmm.
healing hypnosis technique. All right.
Right. Mm.
And they say that we want it only on in person. Now, because I did not want to break their rules, there's something called BQH, that is beyond quantum healing, where the same therapy with a slight variation, what they do is they say, okay, it's fine. We can have an online session as well. So I didn't
Mm.
want to spoil, I didn't want, this was my own integrity that said, don't limit yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Wonderful. Mm.
So I do the sessions online as well. And I've done sessions all around the world
Mm.
also. Now, she came in one of the sessions, and this gentleman, he was in Indore, right? And I was asking the higher self, I said, who is there? He said, she's there. I said, she? And then I got this intuitive message, Dolores. So I asked, is it Dolores? So he said, yes. He now Dolores is channeling through him, right? And I got so excited, Alka, because by the time I had learned this therapy, there was no chance I could have met her physically, right?
Right, right, right. Mm.
And I was like a child. I was like, oh, Mother Dolores, I thought I'd never meet you, you know? And I was so overwhelmed by that. And and she said that you're really doing a good job. And then I asked her about Reiki also. She said, you should teach people whatever you've learned through quantum healing and through Reiki,
Mm.
right? So it's as
So
simple
you
as that.
started that.
Started that.
That's beautiful. Mm.
Yeah. And as the energies, stronger energies are coming into the planet, we are going through a shift right now,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So just like technology has changed,
Mm.
right? So we used to have that very olden time television earlier.
Yeah.
Now it
That
has changed.
very
Yeah,
fat kind of a box, kind of a
yeah,
thing. Yes.
yeah. So now the same way,
It's slim and very curvaceous and
yeah. So
yeah.
in the same way, these have changed as well, and it has become very, very powerful,
Mm.
right? So I just follow my guidance, and sometimes I'm clueless, but my setting my intention and just being guided is what gets me there. Alka.
You mentioned setting intentions.
Mhm,
Many times I've noticed that people say that, we set intentions, but they never work.
mhm.
Where do you think they could be going wrong?
Alka, we have to be true to ourselves, and the world revolves around intentions
To thine own
and
self be
integrity.
true. My
Yes.
favorite quote from Shakespeare.
So the world revolves around intention and integrity.
Bravo. Remember that, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters from different parts of the globe. Intention and integrity. You want to set an intention? Do it with integrity. Nothing more. You don't need anything else but your own integrity because you're doing it for yourself. To thine own self be true. I think that is so powerful and so empowering at the same time.
Yes, definitely. And
Yes.
everyone has that option, right?
Yeah. It's yeah, we have that option. I mean, I can choose to do A or choose to do B. It's the angel and the devil quality, you know. So if you have the
That's the
angel
polarity. That's the
polarity,
polarity. Yeah.
if you have the angel overpowering the devil, or the devil overpowering the angel, then you will do the way they want you to do. So it's always good to have the angel guiding you all the ways, you know, so you don't get into some kind of a mess that you might regret later on, because many times in life we do get into a mess. And if we learn from it and try not to repeat it, though this is a cliche, but yet, Mamta, I've noticed that many times people repeat the same kind of mistakes again and again. Could hypnotherapy help here?
Yes, definitely. But they have to understand whatever they're being told, they should
Follow
follow
that.
it,
Mm.
right?
So in hypnotherapy, you know, I understand that it's like, you know, even what a psychiatrist does, you know, they take you into a trance, like, and you know, you close your eyes and you keep on listening to their voice, and it's like past life regression and a little bit of quantum healing. And um, it's like you are sleeping, and in your sleep you travel many lifetimes. So have you ever faced a challenge in doing that? Because sometimes it is difficult for a hypnotherapist to get a person back from the state they are in. Many times, you know, they start crying, sobbing hysterically, and they start doing crazy things as well. I mean, I've been told by one of my, yeah.
It's the
Oh,
facilitator, right?
okay.
So if they're seeing a past life where someone has stabbed them, all right. So I had a client
Mm.
who had been stabbed in that lifetime, and he said, "Oh, someone's just stabbed me." So I said, "All right, you're not going to be affected by it. You're just watching it." The moment you say that, they
Things
calm
become
down.
okay. So
Yeah.
you have to keep on chatting with the person, I believe, you
It
know,
is it is an
communication,
it is an interactive session.
interactive session. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
That is important.
Yeah.
So, how do you know in which lifetime the person goes off to? Because it could go to 5, 10, 15 at times, maybe more.
We don't take them more than 2 or 3 lifetimes
Okay.
because, yeah, and because they need healing. They're shown lifetimes which are connected to the present lifetime, right? So they might just be shown one lifetime at that time, right?
So it's karmic. So when we talk about, you know, you're going through a karmic phase, you know, we say it could be something that happened in their past life, which is going on in the present, until they, you know, give it a closure. You know, it will keep on happening in all their lifetimes that are to come as well.
Absolutely, absolutely right. Um, there are sometimes they're told that what they did in the last lifetime together, the pattern is being repeated in this lifetime, but now in this lifetime they have to let go and understand that this person is you just have to let it go.
I
This
think
is
these two words, let go, Mamta, are very easy to talk about, very easy to use, but very difficult to put into practice. It is so difficult for people to let go. You know, we're beginning with their possessions, like something that you have the sentimental value, and you know that it's not serving you any longer, yet you hold on to it for life, for death, for whatever, you know, you just hold on to it. You cannot let go. I think that also sort of blocks us from moving forward in life. What do you have to say?
you need to have that conversation with yourself,
Yeah.
right?
That's why I say
Self
affirmations are
talk,
so
yeah,
important.
and self talk is very important. So
Mm.
you have to ask yourself this question, like, if I'm not using it right now, that can it serve someone else, right? And it's very important to do that, to clear that energy and let, so that whatever you need right now can come to you. You've given that away, that will be replaced by something else. You've given it with a good heart, you've said thank you to a certain thing,
It's so important, this thank you, saying thank you, like I you get before you just dispose of old things, old clothes, old shoes, old, decoration items or whatever. I think it's so important to have these attitudes of gratitude. Say thank you to them for, for the time that they spent with you, for the beautiful memories that they gave you, and then just let them go. Say thank you very much, thank you so much. I mean, some beautiful memories. We had some great moments, great times together, but it's time for us to say goodbye now. So I think it's so important to do all these little acts, which unfortunately, because of our, I don't know, again, I think it is our own doing. We put ourselves in a rut where we're running, 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 and we forget to do these simple things like saying thank you to things that, you know, served us well in the past, but may not be serving us in the present. So, you have good memories, but you need to let them go. So it is so important to do that, because then you sort of also, and there's a very a satisfying feeling, a very fulfilling feeling inside of you. Only the person who actually does this will experience it. I mean, you and I saying it will not really have that effect until unless they practice it themselves. But what more can you add to, this
See,
therapy?
Alka, for this, everyone needs to live in the present moment. In
Hmm.
in our heads, sometimes we live in the past, which doesn't serve us anymore. So you have
Yeah.
to let go of
Here,
that
I would like
past.
to, I'm cutting you here. I want to ask you one thing. Many times, what happens is that people tend to watch movies. And, when we watch movies, we sort of start seeing, especially if something like that had happened to us in the past, we start, going back to that time and then wallowing in self pity and thinking that something like that happened to us in the past and it wasn't fair. And then again, you get into that, that mode where you sort of start hating someone and maybe calling them names and saying that you were rude, you were mean, you were disloyal, whatever be the situation. So how to stop this, because many times what we see around, we start, we start putting ourselves there, maybe because it's happened to us, or maybe we feel that it could happen to us.
Yeah, Alka, everyone has a story, right? We think only it's only us, right? And people have to be careful of what they're watching, who they're with, the friends that are surrounding them, what kind of talk they're having, right? Is it gossip? Is it anything constructive? If you're gossiping about someone else, you're lowering your own vibrations. And
Vibrations,
yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. And the kind of foods you eat, uh, and the kind of books you read, right? So everything has to be consciously chosen,
Hmm.
right?
That's important.
Right.
We can actually, I mean, I talk about this. I'll probably be doing a video on this. And what are the foods that can activate our planets? We don't realize it, but eating too much of a good thing also can actually be bad for us, like you're saying. So everyone needs to consciously learn to balance out everything in their lives, especially what they have. So, wearing certain colors, eating some foods, wearing certain kinds of things, using some kinds of colors and scents. And what you said just now, I mean, living in the moment, all this has to be made consciously, initially consciously, because, you don't just get into it. You have to first consciously be mindful of what you're doing. I guess that is how it works, because if
Yes.
if we do it without thinking, then we do all sorts of things, and most of the times we mess up our lives.
Yes.
And
And that is a whole new topic, Alka. It's called shadow work.
hmm, I was hoping you'll bring it up. Great.
Yeah.
So tell us about this now that you've brought up this, because people will ask, so what is shadow work? I've heard it, but I don't really know what it is. Sometimes people pretend to know it. but yet they don't know what it is.
Yeah. So everyone has shadows, all right, and they are created when you are growing up, with the impressionable years, right?
And also when you're vulnerable, I think, when you don't believe in yourself. What do you say? I feel
Actually,
so.
it's mostly conditioning from the though that part of you which you don't want to show people, right?
Hmm.
Now, suppose someone judges you, an elder says, uh, men are not supposed to cry, all right,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
comforting your uh, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, or maybe a little older, all right, and saying, okay, stop crying like a
Mm.
baby. Now
Yeah.
that child, he says, okay, now I'm being judged for it, and if I don't cry, if I don't show my emotion, I'm going to they're going to be happy about it, right? But
Right.
that emotion is still somewhere within, right? So that becomes a part of the shadow of a person,
Mm.
right? And in your adult years, it might suddenly crop up when it's least expected in the most horrific manner,
Oh, yes. You're
right?
so right.
Yeah. So there is
So
a
what do we
job.
do about it, you know?
You have to work on it. How do you know your shadows, right?
Hmm.
What you judge about others is what you are also.
Hmm.
Because if you're seeing something negative in someone else, that means you can see it because it's in present in you also. Otherwise,
Right.
it wouldn't make a difference to you.
This is powerful and profound. And I would just say, everyone, please be mindful of these words. Listen to them again and again. It's definitely a portion which you need to keep on listening again and again, again and again, again and again. We need it.
Yeah,
You're right.
there are four things about a person's personality. One is what he knows about himself and what everybody else knows about him, right? The second part is what he knows about himself and others don't know about him. The third is what he doesn't know about himself, but others know about him. And the fourth part is the shadow self, is what he doesn't know about himself and others don't know about him, right? And that's the part which just pops out. You must have heard yourself saying, why did I say such a thing? I didn't even know I was going to say this.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah.
That was
That
your
was a shadow.
shadow self that had popped in.
I mean, out of the blue, it happens. Yeah, it's probably happened many times in my life as well. I mean, it's not that it was absolutely. I also learned, I also made mistakes, and we're all human. We make
Yeah,
mistakes.
yeah, yeah.
But then the thing is,
We
we
have to
learn from
learn.
them and not repeat them.
Yeah,
Not repeat them. A good human being is one who will make mistakes still, but will not repeat them again, come what may. Then you are a good human being. Then.
yeah, yeah. Because the moment you recognize it, it's also important to forgive your own self.
Yes.
You made that mistake. You feel sometimes like, oh, I could kick myself at that time,
Yeah,
for
many
saying
times
such
you
a
do
thing.
say to yourself, why did I do that? I mean,
Yeah,
what was in my mind when I did that? Or what made me do that?
yeah,
Yeah, it happens.
right.
So that's
So
shadow.
that's the shadow self, and you have to do a whole lot of work on yourself.
Again, journaling, attitudes of gratitude, meditation, just sitting quietly, blanking out everything, which again is very difficult. Seems
No,
easy.
first you have to determine what your shadows are,
Hmm.
right? What have you hidden? What were you being judged for? And what were you portraying? So it's like the mask you're wearing,
Hmm.
right? Behind that mask is another face. So you have to remove that mask. You have to see know yourself better,
Yeah.
right? And people run away from themselves. And
Yeah, I think many do.
yeah,
Many cannot even face themselves. It's so difficult to actually look at yourself in the mirror. It's difficult.
yeah,
Like you said, you cannot face your own self
yeah.
because of this.
So there've been people who have asked, every time I ask, how much do you love yourself? And they say, I
Mm,
don't like myself at all. I hate myself. So there you go. And then you want to know why things are going wrong in your life.
mm.
First, learn to love yourself, right? What Forgive yourself, love yourself, treat yourself like you would treat the person you love the most, right? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. First, you have to give yourself that love, right? And you will only give what you have, right? So if you are bitter, you'll give out bitterness to people. If you are loved, then you will give love to them, regardless of what they are giving you, right? And this is very tough, Alka.
Oh, this is. I agree with you. I completely resonate with what you said, because it's so difficult to love someone who's been or like someone or just be civil to someone who has been not so good with you.
Absolutely.
Their way of saying it. But then, like you said, you need to just forgive, let go, and cleanse yourself of that toxic energy or feelings against that person.
Yeah. And actually, what I do is I sit and I contemplate. All right. And then I remember that it's not about me. The person is projecting what it is about them. They're probably suffering, right? So they weren't telling me about me, they were telling me about themselves only.
Yeah.
And then I send love and light and I forgive that person. Right.
So, we've talked so much about all these different things. If you had to give some tips, simple points that, one should incorporate in their daily routines to understand themselves better, to ensure that all this, that they're mindful of their acts, they're conscious of their moves, they're conscious of the way they're, uh, projecting themselves onto the world. What would those simple, powerful, but very easy to do, because easy to do tips for general holistic wellness be?
Yes, Alka. That is a very good question, or whatever you've asked me, right? So everyone needs to at least give 10 minutes of their time to themselves. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, all right? In that comes meditation, in that comes affirmations, journaling, right? And I start my day with giving gratitude. The moment I put my foot on the floor, get up from the bed, I
Say
say,
thank you.
I say thank you, and I say I expect benevolent change. I choose benevolent change. I expect benevolent change, right? And I say thank you for this beautiful day, right? Then I go and get myself a glass of water and I infuse that water with the I am affirmations. And now I am means God, you call God, because there's a part of God that is in you, because, right? So I call upon that part of me that is the God part of me, right? Um, we in our culture we say Aham Brahmasmi, right?
Yes,
So I am, and
I am.
yeah, I grew up hearing I am that I am. So that is the God part of me I call. And here's what I do: I've got a bottle in front of me. I don't have the glass, but just you asked me this, and so I'm just showing. I cover the bottle,
Hmm.
right, and I close my eyes and I call upon the divine light. I say, I call upon the white light of my I am presence. And my intention for this day is I am divine love. I'm God's peace. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm wise. I'm grateful. I'm balanced. I'm whole. And I'm one with my creator. Right? And then I drink that water. And I do it every day.
And I think this is a beautiful, powerful, energizing start to the day, which will keep you um, productive throughout the day. You'll feel good about yourself. You will spread positivity. You will exude positivity. And I don't know, but people will smile looking at you. You'll smile looking at people. And I think it's these small things and small gestures that go a long way. Yeah.
Alka, I get I get so happy when randomly people they'll look at me and smile, or the vegetable vendor, he's nice to me, he's kind to me,
Yeah,
he'll
that's
smile,
the big
and
thing.
yeah.
I feel that my day is made when the mate speaks nicely, when, like you said, the fruit guy, the vegetable guy, or anyone that I meet on the road, some old acquaintance, an old student of mine meets me, an ex-colleague meets you, and then, they just want to, they connect. So that's a beautiful feeling because why would someone want to connect unless you've given them some reason to actually connect with
Actually,
you again?
yeah, yeah. This makes you vibrate higher. All right.
Yes.
So Nikolai Tesla, he said, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibration, and frequency,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
you vibrate higher the moment you're mindful of what uh, you're thinking about. All right. Now it's all right to think negatively. All right, because you cannot exist with either. There
Yeah,
is
you
no
need
light
both.
if there is no darkness,
Hmm.
right? There is no light without the darkness, and vice versa,
Right.
right? So like you've seen the yin and the yang, right?
Yes.
So that's it. We do need that also. So you have to understand, what is that darkness happening for me right now? What are my thoughts? What are my negative thoughts? And then make a conscious effort and say what you want, or how you can turn them or convert them, right? And give uh, it's inculcate that gesture towards a person or whatever, right?
Wow.
And creating your day.
I'm sure that whoever watches the session is going to be super energized, empowered, enriched because, you listen, the way you said it all so serene, so serenely, and with a smile on the face that, it actually went down and made that impact. And this kind of an impact, I'm sure, will go work with many of them. And there are many people out there who need to listen to all these things because sometimes, they keep on blaming themselves for something that they had done, not meant to do, but it happened, like you said, because we weren't sure. And maybe it was our shadow self doing it and we didn't realize it. So once this put all this into practice, I mean, if they start learning to, be nice to themselves, for starters, affirmations, journaling, meditation, and this water, infusing your water, setting the intention for the day, and saying those powerful things like you just now said. I think this little 15 minutes of an activity will give a beautiful boost to the day ahead. And that's why they say life is beautiful. I feel people who are saying it all the time. Life is beautiful. I'm happy. I'm enjoying myself. I think it's only those people who are consciously making this effort. And now it comes to them naturally
Yes,
because they've
it
forgiven
becomes a
all.
habit.
They've made
Yeah.
a because they've let go of things that that don't serve them. They've let go of people who don't serve them. They've let go of situations that don't serve them, and they've actually forgiven all of them, and they're just living in the moment, and living in the moment, being happy, doing what best they can with the skills, and because everyone is unique, like we say. And if they can get real with themselves, that's why we say the show, let's talk real, real talk. Because, many times we are very, very unrealistic towards our own selves. That is why we need to hear all these things. So I would just say, from the bottom of my heart, a big, big thank you. You were
Okay.
wonderful. And this is not the end, because we need to talk more and more stories about this. And maybe when some people start sharing stories on a show we'll have, you can tell them why they went through a particular thing, and what they need to do to let it go. Though of course the general things they have taken, but sometimes, like everyone is unique. They probably would need something which is just unique to them. So,
Yes,
yes,
Alka. It was also my guides talking through me because I had called them before we started. Right. So I said, I will do the talking. You tell me what to say.
you did that.
Yeah.
I think I may not do it in this way, but I have my own way of,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
whenever I start, I don't, I just flow, and I flow because I say, all right. It's like that om here, and I'm just looking at you, and now you'll tell me how I'm going to be proceeding. I
Yeah.
don't really,
Different words and different.
but
That's
it's the
it.
same thing.
It's the same
It's the
thing. It's
same
like
thing.
it's branches of the same tree.
Yeah, you're just flowing. You're flowing, and then you know that, whatever is being said, you're being divinely guided.
Absolutely.
So
Isn't
that's
that
what I
beautiful?
also, that's beautiful. Yes.
Yes.
And you're beautiful.
So are you,
Thank you
Alka.
so much, so much. And I'm going to connect soon again with you. And I know you're a travel bug like me. We never know, we might meet on our travels as well.
Yes, yes, yes. It
And
will
then we
happen
will
when
do
it's
a
meant
show
to
in
be.
person,
Yes.
in person, and maybe many of them, because there are so many topics relating to,
Oh, yes.
occult, and to
Yes.
this particular area. There's so many things that are unsaid, and people need to know about them. They probably are thinking about it. They probably have the wrong information. They're probably wallowing in self-pity, thinking about something which they haven't done, just because they don't know the reality. So we need to really talk more about this. And I'm going to be connecting with you again. But like I said, thanks to the little baby who's entered into my life. Many times, I want to do something, but then I say, oh, I want to go and see her first today. So, that
And that's fine. It'll happen when it has to happen,
it'll
right?
happen when it has to, and see, it happened. She said,
Yes.
okay, go and do it. Today it will happen. It
Right,
happened, yes.
right, right.
But yeah, once again, thank you so much. And to everyone who will watch the podcast, a big thank you to all of you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. The more you share this, the more people will learn about this, because these are things that are not really talked about. And we have talked about them, the real talk. This is your power that you have within you, but you don't know how to, really unleash it. And if you listen to this podcast, you will learn. And even if you do a little bit, not the entire thing, because it's very difficult to do everything together, but take one step at a time, but take a
Yeah.
step. One step also will keep on getting you closer to your goals, to becoming the person that you truly are deserving of becoming in this beautiful life. So with that, once again, don't forget to like, to share, to drop in a comment. If you have a query, you can drop it in the comments as well. We will check it out and we'll definitely get back to you. And once again, to our gorgeous, charismatic Mamta, thank you so much. You were, what do I say, amazing, awesome, adorable, admirable.
I might start flying. Thank
No,
you
but
so
that's
much.
that's that's the way you are. Unique, unstoppable, unbeatable. Truly, truly timelessly tenacious, and you are a witty and gritty person, and I know because like we all say, we all go have our own stories, but the fact is that we have nurtured ourselves into becoming who we are now, who you are now, and you have become this beautiful soul who's also empowering others to see their true self. And I think this is something that we are doing, you are doing so beautifully, so powerfully, so positively, with a smile on your face.
Thank
Lots
you
of
so
love
much,
to you.
Alka. Thank you. And love and light to all watching. Um, Please feel free to ask any questions. We're there to answer. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Mamta. Thank you so much. I know you're definitely going to do that. I'll probably have a long list with me pretty soon, and we'll get in touch and probably do a show again. And I hopefully want to do the show in person this time.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see.
that'll
Let's
be
see. Even if it doesn't happen, we'll first get here, and we will definitely do a couple of shows in person because I'm feeling that energy. I'm sure you're feeling it too, that we're going to be doing a lot of shows on this topic because this is something that really people need to know, their own self. They know everybody but their own selves. And it's time someone took on this initiative of helping people understand their true selves. So with that, hasta mañana till we meet again. Stay happy, stay healthy. God bless you all, and just keep on spreading smiles and positivity because it's a beautiful world, and every soul is unique and unstoppable, and they have something within them that you will feel enamored by and you will want to understand and know. So try to appreciate people, because if you're appreciating people, you're also doing a favor to your own self. Am I
absolutely,
right, Mamta?
absolutely.
So thank you once again, Mamta. Mwah. And many, many
Okay.
hugs. And see you super, super soon. Thank you very, very much. And we'll connect again probably next month for 2 episodes more, because I think we need to do at least be regular this way. 2 short episodes of half an hour each again on similar
Sure,
topics.
sure.
And till the time we actually, you never know, we'll meet in person and we'll do so many shows together.
Yes, yes, that's a beautiful intention you set, Alka.
I've
And
said
I'm
it.
there with you.
I've got goosebumps. I have those vibrations going high. So I'm sure this is going to happen. Whenever I
Yes,
get this feeling, it happens. So I'm saying it
yes,
on live. I'm saying it in front of so many, maybe many, many people will watch it. But yes, we're being real, Mamta. We're being real. So
absolutely,
once
Alka.
again, thank you so much. And bye
Okay.
bye, beautiful souls.
Bye
Take good
bye.
care of yourselves. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye bye.